Come on in, welcome to my home. So today's video is all about change. Well, originally it was supposed to be about me taking on my garage. Cleaning it up like I need it to. But then this happened. Alright, so that really didn't happen. This is what really happened. I had been following the weather for the past week, and I planned on doing the whole clean out process for a week, but it has been in the 90s for the past 4 days, and it's supposed to be in the 90s for the next 4 days. So, that's not going to happen. So, I had to decide something else. But what? And what do I do now? I mean, there are lots of things I can do or could do, but what do I do? I mean, the whole goal was to get my garage cleaned. So, I'm going to have to change that plan, but how do I deal with that change? How do I function with not being able to do what I had originally set off to do? Because I'm one of these people who I make a list, and once I have my list made, I really want to get done what's on my list, but I can't today without melting into a puddle, even now as we speak. Even though my temperature of my thermostat is set at 75 in here, it's still really hot. It's actually very hot in here. So, I had to change. I don't like change, but isn't change like the only constant that we have? So I had a couple choices, and my choices were I could mope around about it, I could be angry about this and just be like, this is horrible, this is terrible, I can't get anything done. But of course that wouldn't really get me anywhere, so that wasn't helpful. Or I could then decide, well, since I can't do anything, I'm just going to not do anything, period. And then just spend the hours watching TV. Come on in, welcome to my home. Or scrolling on social media. Well, and that, once again, is not helpful because a video still has to go out. Okay, so I'm angry. Let's do something with that. I mean, I could stay in that anger for ages, for hours and hours, for long, long times. Or I could then accept that I'm going to have to change it. Okay, so I'm accepting the change. I'm accepting the fact that things are not going to go as the way that I had hoped that they would, the way that I had planned that they would, the way that I could just move that plan back into a later date so that way it can happen then, unless there's some sort of time crunch where I have to move it forward. But in this case, I didn't. I didn't absolutely have to do this, so it's just a change of plan. And realistically, I should be okay with that, right? I mean, it's just a small change, so I need now to figure out, once I've figured out that, hey, I can accept it. Alright, so I've accepted that the plans are not going to go forward. So, yeah, anger, accepting it's not going to happen. Then what? Well, then I have to decide what to do. Like I said, I could have just been there watching TV, scrolling on social media, but once again, as I said before, and why I'm repeating these things, is a lot of times things have to move forward. Maybe not the way that you planned them, but they do have to move forward. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to make things move forward in a way which is acceptable. So that's where this comes in. Come on in, welcome to my home. So today's video Come on in, welcome to my home. So when you think about this is almost funny. Here I am trying to figure out how to do a video using the least amount of lights that I possibly can so that I don't heat up my house. Trying to figure out how that I can do this without roasting myself. Because even though the air conditioner is going to kick on like any second now, it's still really hot. So I'm finding humor in the fact that I'm trying to figure out how to make a video that is supposed to keep me cool because it was too hot to do a video in the garage, but it's now actually really hot, and I'm trying to figure out what, I mean, it really is ironic, the fact that here we are trying to figure out what to do, and we're just doing it. We are just going forward and moving ahead with something which is inevitable. Change. It happens. Maybe I should have planned for this. Maybe I should have planned for a plan B, just in case everything didn't work out the way that I wanted it to, which it didn't. So, plan B. You will see coming up fairly soon, actually, a video where I talk about planning, and in that planning, I do talk about having a plan for plan B. I didn't this time. So, I'm making up this whole plan B as I go along. And what I'm falling back to are the stages of grief. Now, you can study a whole lot about the stages of grief. I am not the expert on the stages of grief, so I can't just rattle them off the top of my head. But we're in a lot of this, and one of the last stages of grief is acceptance, and then you move on from there. And so that's sort of where I'm at. I'm sort of like, hey, this has got to happen. We've got to get a video done. We've got to get this out. I can't stand around all day just going, well, if this had worked out that way, if this had just hadn't, it didn't work out this way. So sure, lots of times I have done this. This is usually the weekend that weekend that I always do my garage cleaning, and I've done this for ages, but it didn't happen. Okay, accept that. It's going to be a week later. Will the world end? Will the garage police come in and say, hey, you didn't clean out your garage this week, so we're going to arrest you? No, they're not. There's no such thing as garage police. That's just silly. Is my garage in a spot that I can actually not do anything with it? Well, never mind. Anyway, that's beside the point. But it's not one of those things where it's pressing to the point where I can't do anything. So no. I'm accepting it, I'm moving it, and I'm getting past it. So I'm deciding to do this video on change. And wow, that is sort of interesting that in this video, I've actually gone through the whole processes of accepting change. So a video on change, that's really cool. The video on change has changed because originally when I looked at this and I was very upset about the fact that I wasn't going to get to do my video because, like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm very rigid on once I make plans, those are the plans that I want to do. I couldn't. So moving on, stepping forward, trying to get this done in a way that I can get this done without roasting myself. Because even right now, you can tell I'm even sweating in here. Not cool, ironically, but it's okay. So I didn't get done what I wanted to get done, and it's not the end of the world, and I'm getting a whole nother video done, which might actually benefit more people than seeing me clean out my garage, which, by the way, I will be cleaning out my garage, just not now. Maybe this was actually even a stupid plan to begin with. I mean, who in their right mind decides to clean out their garage in the middle of the hottest time of the year? For where I am, from the middle of July till about the middle of August, end of August, it's roasting hot. So maybe that was even a bad plan to begin with. I should reassess this. I'm going to reevaluate where I'm looking at about doing this, because now that I've accepted moving forward, I still need to get my garage done. That's a big thing. It needs to happen. But I need to think about, well, when should it happen? And August is not it. August is not it by any shape, place, or shape. So I'm going to have to look at my calendar, figure out where I can work this in when I know it will most likely be much, much cooler and I can do this. Because just because I changed the plan and my original thought was, well, I'll just do this next week. Well, next week is going to be August. Because when I'm filming this, which is, I think is July something, it's the last Monday of July. That's when I'm filming this. So you are seeing this 2 weeks later, which is the middle of August, which you know how hot it is. So, yeah, bad plan. bad plan on my part. So it's just reevaluating. It's just moving forward. The plan didn't happen as I expected it to, so I'm adapting the plan so it can move ahead in a different way. You can do that too. Don't let change just block you, stop you, set you back, and you can't do anything because you had to change stuff. No, change is good. Change is inevitable. Change is the only constant. And that's okay. And if change is the only constant is constantly changing. So, yeah, go with it. Now, I'm not saying don't make plans, because that's absolutely ridiculous too, because you can have some sort of construct, some sort of pathway set, but just because a tree fell over the path doesn't mean that you can't just go around the tree, over the tree, through the tree. I don't know. But as long as you get to where your goal is, maybe it'll take you a little bit longer. Maybe the next time you try to do it, it'll be faster. But keep going. That's the big thing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep going. This video got made, even though it would have been really easy to just do the whole, it's too hot to do a video, I'm just going to give up. I didn't. I did a video, and guess what? Now we're at the end of it. So did this help you? Did the idea of change is going to happen, plan for the change, and then accept it and move on help you? And if so, let me know down in the comments, because I'd really like to hear how you handle change, because it might really help me. How do you handle it when your goals are interrupted or put on hold or even completely canceled? Because that's a thing which could happen. It might never get cool again, which of course is ridiculous, but it might never get cool again in a spot where I can actually do the garage cleaning video. I don't know. But it's something I'm going to have to deal with when I get to it. But I'm still going to plan for as if it can happen. So let me know what you thought about this down in the comments. I hope I get to see you the next time you stop by.